Welcome into the STO Fantasy Playbook here in the Hyundai Studios. Will Hewitt joined alongside Ryan Cavanaugh. We're going to break down stardom, sit-em, the injury impact, and also go over the fantasy marketplace. We begin with stardom, sit-em, but we're not going to give you guys like Aaron Rodgers and Arian Foster to start. We're also not going to give you Kevin Cobb and Matt Flynn to sit on the pine because you should well know that. We're going to start, though, Ryan, with your stardom, guys like Mike Wallace and Eric Decker.
Well, Mike Wallace is a guy that should be in lineups. However, he just started practicing with the Pittsburgh Steelers on Friday after holding out. However, with the condition and the state that the Pittsburgh Steelers backfield is in, Big Ben's going to throw the football if they want to win. Look for Antonio Brown and Mike Wallace to have big games. Get Wallace in your starting lineup. Eric Decker is a guy who in 2010 for the Denver Broncos only had 3 catches. Last year, 43 catches. This year, Peyton Manning joins him. Look for Eric Decker to have not only a breakout for week 1, but a breakout season. And if you're lucky enough to have Eric Decker in your lineup, get him in your starting lineup.
Another wide receiver I'd like to see you put in your lineup is Michael Crabtree. They're facing off against the Green Bay Packers, a Packers offense that we know is going to throw the ball, and they're going to have to play catch-up a lot of times. A lot of those targets, 10 to 12, I'm thinking, is going to go Michael Crabtree's way. Hopefully he pulls in 7 or 8. Running back side of things, I like Kevin Smith. This is a Detroit Lions team that's playing the St. Louis Rams. They should blow them out by my calculations, and by that standard, they're probably going to run the ball and run the clock out late by virtue of injury. Kevin Smith's the guy that's going to get that ball, and he's going to be facing off against last year's second worst rated run defense. As far as guys that should be riding the pine, a big name for you, Maurice Jones-Drew.
Well, that comes as a bit of a surprise, but remember, Jones-Drew just ended his holdout and started practicing on Monday. For fantasy owners, I'm going under 2 assumptions. 1, you did not expect Jones-Drew to be playing this early, and 2, based on that, you drafted other quality running backs. At least for week 1, wait for Jones-Drew to get the lion's share of the carries as he's going to be a third down back, and you can sit Jones-Drew. The second guy is Peyton Hillis. The Chiefs' starting lineup and depth chart came out this week, and Peyton Hillis and Jamal Charles are both listed as the starters. Don't believe the hype. This is still Jamal Charles' backfield, and expect him to get most of the carries and for Peyton Hillis to play second fiddle. So I'd sit Peyton Hillis.
A couple other running backs that I would sit. Cedric Benson moves over to Green Bay. He's going to be starting there, but I really don't feel comfortable with it. This is a pass-first team, and this is not the Benson that played for Cincinnati 2 years ago. It's also a very crowded backfield. When we talk about pass-first teams, Benson has never been a running back to catch the ball out of the backfield, so I would wait to see how that situation plays out. Another one, Adrian Peterson, another big name that we're going to say to sit. He's coming off of an injury. I expect Gerhardt to get a big lion's share of that carries, and it's going to be Adrian Peterson, kind of a wait and see how he works and readapts to that situation before you put him in your lineup. Now it's time for the injury impact. We're going to stick there in Minnesota with that Adrian Peterson controversy. Coming in, Ryan, but he didn't get a lot of work in the offseason. Gerhardt should be getting a lot of these carries. How do you see this moving forward?
Well, his injury, Adrian Peterson's, was in the second to last game of the year, and he's no normal man, so he should be ready. However, when your Ferrari goes down and you take it to the shop, you don't immediately take that baby on the highway and see how fast it can go. It's going to take a few weeks before Adrian Peterson gets back to being the Adrian Peterson that we know. So I would watch him until about week 3 or 4, Will.
We'll monitor that situation. Another thing we're monitoring is the fantasy marketplace. Who can you buy low? Who can you sell high? And Ryan, first off, you like the Pittsburgh Steelers backfield as both candidates as a buy low and a sell high.
Well, if you took Rashard Mendenhall or the heir apparent Isaac Redman, a guy who has not really impressed me over the years, I would look to move those guys, and I'd look to try and bring in Jonathan Dwyer. Last year, when Muelde Moore and Mendenhall were hurt, Dwyer stepped in, 11 carries, 107 yards, including showing some game-breaking speed. So by the time Mendenhall comes back from injury in 4 or 5 weeks, there may not be a starting job for him because Dwyer may have it.
As far as the sell high, I like the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, an aging defense that has 35-year-old nose tackle Casey Hampton coming back from injury. You're losing guys like James Ferrier, Aaron Smith, William Gay, Bryant McFadden. A lot of people like this defense. I would sell high. As far as buying low, Titus Young, a wide receiver that should see some open fields with safety shifting and double teams to Calvin Johnson. That's all the time we have for STO Fantasy Playbook. Make sure you check back every week and check out our columns online every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Take care.